Nice enough to join us, Hall of Famer to be, greatest manager in the storied history of the San Francisco Giants, the new manager of the Texas Rangers, Bruce Bochy. Boch, thanks so much for your time. You're managing again, sir, because you missed it. What would you say you missed about managing the most, Boch?
Oh, that's a hard one because there's so many. I'll start with being in the dugout, just the competition. I think it starts with that, and trying to figure a way to win a ball game. But they have relationships. Just being around the staff, the players, the training staff, everybody, even the workers at the ballpark. I lived across the street there in San Francisco, and had so many good friends and relationships that I developed. So, including front office employees, so all of it, and that's probably when I started adding all that up and all the things I did miss, and that made it easier to get back in.
So how did the process go of you getting back in? Were you kind of sniffing around vacancies, or did a call come out of the blue?
No, it started with Chris Young, CY. He gave me a call just to get my appetite on managing. We have history together. He pitched for me back in '06 with San Diego, and they were looking for a manager, and he called to see if I had any interest. And as we were talking, I perked up even more because I was getting the itch. But at the same time, I wasn't going out calling anybody. And so that's where it all started, and he flew out, and after about 7 hours of conversation and, just talking about his vision and, the desire for Texas to turn baseball around there and get back to playing winning baseball. I just got excited. It just hit me, right between the eyes that, this is time for me to get back in, just like it was time for me to step down. And I didn't know, be honest, that this was something that would ever happen, but I'm very grateful for it, and I'm excited about it.
Boch, looks like you'll be back in the same division as your old nemesis, Dusty Baker. How excited are you for where Dusty is right now? And he's on the verge. We'll see what happens. We just had the anniversary of your first World Series championship with the Giants. What does that first World Series championship do for you as a manager?
Wow, it's a moment that you really go numb for a second when it happens because it's something you've been trying to achieve for so long, and he's been in this position, so I think that's going to make it a little bit easier for him. But they're going home. Certainly it looks very, very good for him. I can promise you, he's thinking about a lot of things because he has been this close before, and but it's just for me. You have it on such a pedestal that you don't know if you ever, will be a world champion. And but now he realizes how close he is, and so I'm excited for him. I really am. They're so good, Houston. That's the tough part about getting with the Rangers. You got Houston and Seattle to deal with. But, that's fine, and it's a division similar to the Western Division. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Rangers coming off of 6 losing seasons in a row. You have a great chance to help start the turnaround this year. With you coming back in, a manager in his 60s, and Dusty's up there. A lot of managers now maybe from the old school. Does it feel like the pendulum is swinging back now in baseball away from the spreadsheets and more toward the older school approach?
I think so a little bit. I think the clubs are looking for a little bit more balance. With the older, experienced manager, but also like somebody who will use analytics, but won't let data drive every decision. I think some clubs have seen that there's a huge human element to it, and so I think it really shows that they realize how important some other things in the game are. And I think you look at the success that Dusty's had, Showalter, he won over 100 games there. Really, some of these experienced managers is probably what kept me on the board, as I say, and caused somebody to give me a call, and I appreciate it. But it's a blend. Some people always thought I just went strictly from the gut, but we had some very good people in the front office that helped me make those decisions with the information that I got.
Yeah, the Astros, even Dusty pulled off a hit and run last night. I was like, wow, I remember that. Bruce Bochy is our guest here on 95.7 The Game. Boch, everyone talks about, culture, and it's probably an overused term, but there's something to it. What did you learn about what goes into building a winning culture in San Francisco that you would maybe like to apply to your new situation with the Rangers?
Yeah, and that's part of my philosophy. It really is to develop the chemistry culture in a ball club that that really creates an environment for the players to bring out the best version of them, and that's such an important part of successful franchise and playing winning baseball. And the numbers are great, and there's some incredible things facts that they can give you, but there's nothing like having a great group of guys in there playing for, as I say, a cause of playing for each other, things like that, to bring them together, to be, the unselfish team that you need to have, and just having great teammates that will play better when they play for each other.
You'll be back next year, having only missed 3 seasons, but baseball has changed dramatically with the shift being banned, pitch clock coming in, ghost runner on second. What do you make of these newfangled changes to the sport that you love?
Yeah, well, it's a big adjustment. I can't be concerned whether I agree with them or not, but I will say I think we when we look at our game and the adjustments that we have made in our game, that's made it tougher to maybe put the ball in play or take away hits, things like that. We've taken a lot of action out of the game, and because of a lot of smart people, I'll say, now we've had to adjust and change the rules to make the game a bit more entertaining. And my job is to use these new rules as best as I can. And when I stepped down, it wasn't a 3-batter minimum, things like that. Of course, the bases, no shift. It's still the same game, though. You still got to execute. You still got to apply the fundamentals. But it's all about adjusting, just like players on the field. I think your staff has to adjust the rules and make them work for your team.
Boch, you caught for many, many years for some good teams. Next year, there's going to be a limit on throwovers. What kind of additional pressure does that put on the catcher in terms of limiting the running game?
Well, it does. It's going to affect how you throw over, and which I'm not totally against. I mean, that's not a lot, too. The third time, you better pick him off, or he goes to the next base. But it's something that you're going to be very, very much aware of. And I can tell you this: I think you're going to see more and more pitchers be quicker to home plate, particularly if they've used up their 2-step offs or throw overs. So again, it's about adjusting, and so these pitchers will have to, and managers or whoever's running. Or holding runners and handling the running game. It's a huge adjustment because it got to a point where it was overused, I think, at times. But you know what? If it creates more action on the field and fans love it, I'm good with it.
Boch, you're putting together a staff out in Texas, and I know you called some of your old friends to join you. What's it been like trying to put together a new staff in Texas without Wotus and Righetti and the rest?
Yeah, you know what? That's what we're doing now, and such an important part of what you have to do as a manager is get your staff together, and just casual conversations with, my old staff, because we talk a lot. Ronnie and I were just in Biloxi, Mississippi. We were honoring Lee Elder, who was a long-time scout for us, and he was getting roasted. But, he said, I would just ask them if they ever had an interest in getting back in the game. But, those are things you have to get permission on. But, it's going to be a little different for me because I'll have probably a completely different staff, and they'll get to know me. I have to get to know them, but that doesn't take long. It really doesn't. And hopefully you have a plan to speed up that process. Whether getting together before spring training a few times or talking on the phone, and even during spring training, but. I was fortunate, man. I had some great guys there, and I'm forever grateful for the staff that I had there in San Francisco.
Boch, we just marked the anniversary. I think it was, the 12th year anniversary of that 2010 championship, your first as a Giant skipper. Looking back on that team, and you already spoke to what that championship meant to you, but what would you say as a manager you are most proud of in terms of the way that team did what they did?
Gosh, that's a hard one. 10 was amazing because we were pretty far back behind San Diego in August. We were 6-7 games back and went down to the last day to get there. And but we had a little easier road, winning the World Series. I think you look at the 12 team. That's incredible what happened there. How many times we were facing elimination, and then, of course, 14 being a wild card, and what Bum did, and, going 7 games. You know what? I just can't. I'm just as proud of every team because, with each team, they all did something special and showed such mental toughness and performed under pressure, like no other teams I ever had. So I look at all three as very, very special.
Well, Boch, congrats on the gig and just 1,700 or so wins behind Connie Mack. 19 years of 90 wins, and you can catch him, Boch.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can assure you, he shouldn't be getting nervous. No.
Okay.
That won't happen. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure this would be my last run here, and I'm very fortunate for it. But and I'm excited, looking forward to it. But no, Connie, you're fine.
All right, you're 5 behind Walter Alston. Leo DeRocher's right there as well, and maybe you'll get your old pal Dusty too.
Huh? Yeah.
I don't know. Dusty's going strong, but I really look forward to seeing him. I haven't seen Dusty in a while, but I'll be watching the game, pulling for him.
And Boch, as you know, Rangers in town in San Francisco, August 13th through the 15th. Obviously, that's going to be a very special and emotional series for you.
It will be. It's funny. I didn't know what the dates were. I didn't look at it right away, but I had a lot of friends calling me wanting tickets already for that. And I had to, I was kidding with Mario that I might need some help. He said, no problem.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, Boch, we appreciate your time very, very much. Congratulations on the new job. We're still having a hard time adjusting to that, but we're so happy for you. Enjoy the rest of the World Series, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on. Great talking with you.
Thank you very much.